Hey my friends, new video today. I got asked the question whether I could build a decent human team, and I personally don't play any humans. I looked into it earlier, like a couple weeks back before they got buffed, and it didn't really feel that great to me. So I never really bothered getting my own hero team or like playing one. And since I'm already playing 3 accounts right now, and I already feel like that's quite a lot that I'm already doing right now, I didn't really do much on the team building side recently. But I stumbled upon a pretty decent team today, just now actually, and I wanted to show you the team. And since many of you requested me to show some gameplay, I decided to show you a replay where the team actually beat my team in the arena. So let's get right into it. On the left is my current team that I'm using. It's just one that I'm experiencing with. I do not recommend buying or playing this kind of setup. It's doing alright, but it's not the greatest. As you can see, I have pretty high rarities. I got 1 immortal, 1 legendary, 2 epics, and a rare. On the right side there are there are 3 epics, 1 epic star, and 1 rare star. So let me show you real quick how this played out. As you can already see that I've lost, so let's just watch and see how they fought. Okay, so they've already killed my Hades. It's no problem since he has his passive, but they quickly went through my succubus as well, and they just stomped all the way through my defenses, rendering me completely useless. I couldn't really do anything. And as you can see, the level of my enemy is considerably lower, meaning it's very likely that he got worse gear as well. You can never really tell, since some people buy gear from the dungeon, which I do not recommend, since it's a huge HE dump. But you can do that if you want to have some sort of great effect on the arena, I guess. But it's not too great since the current rewards aren't amazing. But you can do that since tournaments will let you profit from that as well. So, what actually happened here? Damage healed. You can already see quite a bit of a difference. None of my heroes healed any kind of damage except Hades because of the arena heal. So I was already at a disadvantageous position there. Then the enemy team basically all recovered like 3 to 5,000 HP. And they have a pretty, how do I say this, a pretty annoying lineup. So basically, what humans do is they silence the enemies, and I'm using a mage god team, which means my main focus is like using spells, using abilities, and the current meta is using some pretty strong abilities on the front line. For example, I got the succubus, which basically charms the enemies if she can trigger her ability, and if that succeeds, then I can charm like 3 to 5 enemies at once. They slaughter each other, and I can just fire at them with all my abilities. But why didn't this work? Let's just watch it again. I'll show you real quick. So you can see Hades being focused, succubus building her mana up. So now she should be using her ability, but she didn't. She was pretty close to using it. Basically the enemies, I think they were silencing her, but it's not really showing here. They have a 40% of silencing the target for 4 seconds, meaning every second attack is going to silence you, right? So if they attack me, if they attack my frontline mages, they are going to be silenced. They can't really do anything. Their attack damage is pretty low, and they can't really fight back basically. So they're just going to get stomped. The enemies can silence them away with that. So they can tank a lot of damage. As you can see, Swift took like 20,000 damage, which is already like as much damage as my Odin and the Succubus together. and the others really didn't need to do much anymore. Just see, maybe the Leona. Let's just put these into place. 1 second. Leona and Swift, and then they got Sonata, Nidalee, Jita, and Vi in the back. So let's just see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So currently, the price of this team is pretty low for what you get, right? So let's just write everything down. I'll just put this to the other side and write all the prices down. So for the front we use Leona. Then we got Swift. Then we got Jita, Sonata, and Vi. Okay, done. So I just quickly wrote down the gems with the prices. So basically the total price is combination of this. This were to even work. Okay, like this. So it's currently at 2000 token, which is pretty damn pricey. If you were to compare it to the average elf team or beast team that I've recommended in the past, especially if you watch the recent price changes, which are pretty low recently. So, but you have to keep in mind that you're currently getting a rare here, rare, and here. But if you watch the other ones, like the Leona, the Swift, and even Sonata, they are all epics, right? So epic, epic, epic. So you would at least need 3 copies of the rare ones and 2 more rare plus units of the same race, right? So it's really a lot cheaper than you would expect. So you could basically only could take a third of these prices for these sites. Wait, let's just put this here and here. So if you were to add this, let's just do this manually. So the real price is more like 800 token, probably even lower, since I didn't even calculate the rare plus price that you have to offer to this combination as well. If you were to like pick an epic, if you were to make like an epic elf or beast team. So let's just go with the official price. But like that was just the normalized price if you had to compare to other rare teams. So you have to spend 1947 token. For that you will be getting 3 epics, 2 rares. You get a full human team, and you get to silence the enemy easily. So I'm doing some calculations here. Basically you can't really exceed level 100 here. You will probably only, if you buy it now, you'll probably only reach level 80 with the rares, since there's a new adjustment that's coming soon. So if you haven't watched this, this is from the video how much money you can make with the game, and the HE earning guide that I published recently. So it's basically divided into different categories: beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, etc., etc. And it shows you how much HE you can make per day, or even per week, or in a long run, and how much money you can make with all that. So this is just taking into account the HE you'll be making, and I think in the long run, with the elf team or with like the beast team, you'll probably end up somewhere in between here. Like you will easily wrap through beginner tier. You will easily get from chapter 5 to chapter 7. Shouldn't be any problem at all. And then you will be getting better gear, nice equipment. You can upgrade it. You can get nice stat boosts. You probably get lots of race gear that's like giving you additional advantages, and you may even get some better gear from the dungeon store. So you should easily be getting to the intermediate stage. It's going to be a bit more tough to get to chapter 10, since the teams each individually will have a harder time at a later level, and you got to farm a lot to get the gear that lets you get there, since if you don't reinvest anything, it's going to be more tough, so you have to reinvest a lot. But with this team, you're already at a pretty good range. You have a pretty nice lineup. You are already at Epic, and getting from Epic to Epic Plus isn't too hard, so you'll be getting a pretty great start. And you can get an upgrade quite cheaply as well, as the price of Leona and Swift is very, very low, and Sonata is already very strong at just Epic. Vi as well, she's just she costs only 80, and she can swipe the enemies just by having a huge life regeneration. So just from that, it's going to be a very great team. But if you were to like do a couple upgrades here and now, then you should easily be getting to like the advanced or even the expert stage. And if you keep reinvesting some of your HE, naturally it's going to be a lot higher here in these stages, where your return of invest is much higher. So of course, if you just go with the beginner HE that you will be getting, then it's going to be taking longer. It's going to be taking almost 2 months, which is a long time. But if you take into consideration that this is a high-level team, that this is a team that will get you far, and that you can easily upgrade by just upgrading your epics, upgrading your rares and stuff. You can do the same with the beast and the elf team as well, but in here it's going to be made a bit easier, since your decision making will be taken away from you. You already got your epics in your team, and with the elf or the beast team, there are some epics, the natural epics that you could add or subtract in your team. So if we were to take into consideration that you're just going to reinvest everything, so maybe you won't be earning anything for the first month, but then starting from the second month, where you'll probably already be in the advanced tier or the end of the intermediate tier, and don't know how long it takes to get there right now. If you do just the dailies or the weeklies, then you should be getting about pretty much 60 to 75 a day. So let's just go with 60. So then your ROI is already lower to like 32 days, and it's getting lower from that. So it's really a pretty good team to range in here basically, and to get a bit further in the game, especially if you want to reach a bit higher in the arena. As you could see, I myself got trashed by this team. I mean, it's some sort of natural counter as I'm using mages, but the lineup itself is pretty good. You have the bonus of having some silence, which is pretty much good against any kind of race, since every race is making use of great abilities. It doesn't really matter which race you have. If you have the assassins, if you have the beasts, if you have the nagas, or even the demons or the mages, naturally, everyone is making use of their spells, their abilities. So the team, I can see them rising further. You have a pretty tanky front line, supplemented by the heal that Jita is going to make. Vi is super tanky as well, so you're making use of lots of tanks. So Nata can bring back the allies. I can show you in the hero descriptions. Let's just see. Humans. So this is basically just her passive spell that's going to bless the allies and take a certain amount of damage, which is like 10% of their max HP in the beginning. So that's pretty cool, but it's not too amazing. It's just a pretty nice healing ability that's doing its job. But like the real cool thing is like her ultimate, where she gets to resurrect one eliminated ally. For example, if you fight the undead team and one of your allies already starts pretty low life. Let's say you're playing the Swift and Leona in the front line, and your Swift is already low life in the very beginning of the match. He dies very early on. Sonata gets her ultimate ready and gets to heal back up the ally that already died. So it's pretty amazing actually, the ability. And naturally, if you exceed a certain level, you are going to be getting exponentially stronger. As for example, at level 81, the resurrected allies get to inherit the mana that they had when they died. For example, if Swift dies with like almost full mana and he couldn't really utilize his ultimate, she brings him back. He can use his ultimate right away, swap with the enemies, and I think that's going to be pretty useful. So far I haven't been too convinced of her design, but I think she's getting stronger by the day. Pretty useful these days. She's also pretty good on a Warlock team. Same as like the other heroes. I mean, Swift and Leona aren't that amazing in different combinations, but like, for example, Jita can be used in lots of different ways. Sonata can, and Vi as well. So they all have their uses. And if you are like playing dungeon a lot, you can supplement these characters to different teams. So if your main team dies, you may have a second backup team that you can supplement these guys to. So that's pretty good as well. Overall, a very solid team. You should be able to get quite a decent place in the Colosseum, of course. And maybe you just need it for a tournament team that you're using as like a backup team to make sure to get a nice, decent rank. I've been neglecting this a lot. I didn't do much here so far. I just wanted to wait in the beginning, as it was very slow to really reach anywhere here. But yeah, that's it basically for the video guide. It's going to be taking a bit longer in terms of return of invest, so this is more like a team for people who want to get far in the game, and not a team for people who want to reach their return of invest easily. So this is more like the long-term team that you're going to be shooting for. The silence is very, very strong, 40% chance, and wait, let me just show you this. 40% chance, and you're silenced for 4 seconds. This 4 seconds never really sounds like a lot, but like if you really count yourself 4 seconds in a fight such as this, if you saw the replay that I've been showing a couple times this video, 4 seconds is a lot. I don't think I could really do much of any spells in the whole game because of the 4-second silence. It's really a huge time in this game. Having 4 seconds where you can't use any kind of ability is very, very strong. That's why some people have been supplementing the humans into different teams, like making use of two human heroes in a team to get like the chance of having such a huge silence. But of course, if you have like 40% chance to silence the target for 4 seconds, that's just a huge impact on the whole team. So all the teams that are not purely attack focused will be having a very hard time dealing with the humans, and even those teams who do focus on attack damage, like let's say assassins or the beast team, even them are going to be having a hard time, as most of them rely on their abilities as well. Like let's say you have Bertha in your frontline on the beast team, she can't use her ultimate, right? She's rendered useless. She's just a huge pile of flesh sitting in your front line. She's going to be taken down by the enemies quick. Or let's say you got Chiron. He's usually there to like shield or like heal back up your allies. Also huge tank. If he gets silenced, also just a huge pile of flesh lying in your front line, not really be able to do anything. So this can be pretty good in the future, and I already see this rising in the ladder and the ranks. I faced a team similar to this recently. and in the past I haven't really seen any human teams whatsoever. So I really do feel that's a pretty good team. If you have any further comments on this team, then you can just tell me, and we'll discuss things out. Sometimes there are other viable heroes you can use. So for example, you could like supplement some of these with cheaper versions. You could like use I think he's called Car or something. Let's see. Yeah, Car. Like for example, if you use him instead of Swift, if you want to like save some money, I guess you can do that, of course. Or if you're using like the Warrior minion. But I would just usually recommend the team as it is, since right now this feels like the strongest combination to make for a 5 hero comp. Naturally it's going to be a bit more pricey, but upgrading this to like Epic Star is a very small step, so it's one you can make quite easily. I think that's pretty much doable, and if you have any more you have in mind, then just let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Maybe you're going to buy it, maybe you're going to build it, maybe you're going to use it in the tournament. Really looking forward to seeing this more in the arena and higher tiers, but I think most of them are just using their main team and not really doing much else. You know, same Warlock team as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's it for the video. Let me know as always what you think, so goodbye.